Hey guys, Deltrice Hart Anderson here of D Hart Accounting, keeping the IRS out of the pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts of taxpayers. Today, I'd like to talk about that 575 notice. Many of you always ask, what is that 575 notice? So I just want to break down a little bit of it on today. We're going to talk about what is it, what it's used for, and what happens if you lose it. Okay? So what is this letter, okay, or notice, whichever you want to call it? It is the notice that you receive when you apply for a federal ID number or an EIN, okay? This letter is granted to you by the IRS. This letter has some very juicy pieces of information on it, very pertinent pieces of information on that you will need to keep up with at all times for as long as you own your business. The first piece of information obviously is going to be that EIN or federal ID number that the IRS has granted you. It is going to be a 9-digit number. It is going to be unique to your business and your business only. So even if there is another business in another state, in another city that has the same name, it is never going to have the same EIN or federal ID number, okay? The IRS is going to grant it to your business and your business only, okay? That is very important when we talk about the reasoning, what you're going to use or what you can use this EIN number for. So think of this EIN or federal ID number. I'm going to use those interchangeably, those terms interchangeably. Think about this EIN as the social security number of your business, okay? That's the first piece of pertinent information that the CP575 letter will have on it. The second pertinent piece of information that it's going to have is your business name, okay? The business name as you have named it with all of the different accents on it, all of the ampersands, the commas, what the dashes, whatever, however you have named your business, this piece of paper, this form is going to have your official business name on it, okay? So again, keep up with it so you'll know how to document or how to list your name, your business name in the future. The third pertinent piece of information that this letter is going to have on it is going to be the official address of your business, okay? So however you spelled it, whatever city, state, zip code that you have told the IRS you're going to use for your business, it's going to be on this form. And the fourth, which I think is like most important because it helps us when it comes to tax planning, tax strategies. It helps us when we are dealing with businesses and individuals or businesses and their owners, getting them out of tax trouble. This helps us tremendously. This fourth piece of information, which is the type of tax form that you have to file for the business, as well as the due date of that tax form, okay? And it'll be the initial due date. So, key pieces of information that you will need, all right? Now, you won't only need this information for tax filing, but that is one of the uses and one of the larger uses, one of the largest, I should say, uses for this form. But another use for this form is when you open up a bank account, because you want to make sure to let the bank know exactly how your name, how your business name is spelled with the IRS and what that federal ID number is with the IRS, how the IRS identifies your business, okay? As well as what address that they have for your business. So when you open up that bank account, there will be no mistakes. There should be no mistakes if you are able to present them with that CP575 letter. Most times when you give a bank that, they know that you know what you're talking about. They know that you are serious, okay? So that's another reason or another use for this CP575 letter. A third reason for the CP575 letter is if you are applying for grants, because a lot of the government grants, they have a database that they can pull from to verify that CP575 notice. So they can verify your business name and your federal ID number. So you don't want to misspell your business name or leave out a comma, leave out the ampersand or whatever, because there could be a mismatch. And if you have a mismatch, I don't know if you know anything about about grants, but any little thing can just kick you out of their system. They'll deny you or put you on hold, and then you may miss your opportunity, okay? The fourth way that this CP575 letter is utilized is when you are applying for loans. So very similar to when you're applying for grants. With the applying for loans, if you're applying for an SBA loan, there again, that database, you want to be able to document or apply for on that loan the same way the IRS knows your business name and your federal ID number. That's the same way you want to document it on your loan application. And other business credit, it doesn't have to be an SBA loan. It could be a bank loan. It could be a credit card. But when you have that document, any lender, any grantor will know that you are serious because you have at least kept up with that documentation. A lot of times people have to scramble to find this documentation. And it's not saying that, because we all lose things. I can tell you right now, there are some of my EINs or some of my CP575s, because I just know the EIN number in my head. I really don't know where they are. I have an idea of where they are, but I have been more aware and I have made myself start keeping up with them better, especially if I'm going to apply for a loan, like in an LLC for one of my rental properties, if I want to refinance it, if I want to apply for a business credit card, then I'll have those things handy. Okay. I'm making myself more aware nowadays, but so don't think, oh, she has herself all together. No, I had to get myself together, just as you all can get yourself together if you're not together. A lot of you are probably more together than I am. Okay. But I digress. Now, the last thing I'll talk about is what you can do if you have lost that CP575 notice. Now, just a little step back, that CP575 letter is kind of like a birth certificate / social security card for your business. All right. I think of it as a hybrid because it is going to have that ID number as the IRS identifies your business, kind of like a social security card has the ID number where the IRS identifies you as a person, right? The birth certificate component of it, if you will, is just because it has the name. So the business name as your birth certificate is going to have your name. And then it's going to have some other pieces like the address. Now, the birth certificate may not have your full address. It'll have the city where you were born and your birth date. So this CP575 letter is going to have the birth date, if you will, or i.e. when do you want your business to start? So it'll have your business's birth date. It'll have the address or the location of your business, as well as your business name. Okay. So that's why I think of it as a hybrid of a social security card and a birth certificate for your business. Now, lastly, let's go into what happens if you lose it. If you lose it, unfortunately, you will not be able to obtain a duplicate CP575 form. The only way that you could get some of the information from that form would be to contact the IRS, their business specialty line, and ask for them to send you over a substitute one of those forms, CP575 forms. That substitute form is called a 147C letter or 147C notice, whichever you want to call it. Now, it is not going to have those pertinent pieces on it. It's not going to have those juicy pieces on it. At best, it's going to give you the name of the business as the IRS knows it, as well as the federal ID number as the IRS has it. That's it. You will have to ask the person, the IRS agent, the other information. What tax form do I file? When was the business started? But you'll have to write that information down versus having it on the original CP575, okay? Now, banks, lenders, grantors, they will take that form, but it is better when you have the CP575 letter at the ready. As far as tax professionals, they will take that form as well, the 147C letter, but you still will have to let them know the other pieces, what tax form you're having to file, okay? So it's a good enough form to get you where you need to be, that that 147C form, but the best form is going to be that CP575 form, okay? Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully this helps you to know what the letter is, what is it used for, and what happens if you have lost the letter. I'm Deltrice Hart Anderson, keeping the IRS out of the pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts of taxpayers. Till next time, bye y'all.